CPTSD is typically a reoccurring thing. It's something that's continuously happening day by day or over a period of time. And it alters the way that you navigate because you're put into a certain survival mode based upon that interaction. So every day, close to 200,000 people admit themselves to a psych ward every day for a 24-hour bed, right? That adds up to over 60 million applications for mental illness being submitted to psych wards every single year. One of the top things that I see causing this is the fear of vulnerability. You know, having your masculinity being questioned because of how you express, what you express, or when you're expressing it. You know, when you don't feel as if you have an outlet to express yourself or to connect with others, it puts you into a real dark tunnel of isolation. Now, if you don't go into this tunnel of isolation by choice, knowing that you have the strength and the power to remove yourself from that tunnel, it is very easy to get lost in that tunnel because there is no lights majority of the time. It's nothing but pure guidance, wisdom, and faith in source, right? I see a lot of mental illness happening within the music industry, entertainment, film, etc. A lot of this is coming from their fear of being truly seen for who they are. You see, when you blow up or you make a career built upon something that wasn't an exhibit of your truest self, when you get that fan base and you start to realize that that fan base isn't truly validating you, they're validating, you know, an ego version of you, it sends these rappers and these artists and these, you know, actors down a spiral because they want to show who they truly are. They want to shift the trajectory of their music, the trajectory of their message, but they risk losing their fan base. They risk losing that validation that they worked so hard for from the beginning. So this is why we see a lot of actors, a lot of rappers, a lot of just self-destructive activity, whether it's from pills, you know, self-harm in other ways, or just crash out behavior. It's coming from a fear of vulnerability. They want to say something, there's something that's truly on their heart, there's something that they truly want to spread out as a message, but it's not being heard or people aren't accepting it. That fear of being seen is deeper than a lot of people are realizing. It's all the way from the bottom of the bottom, all the way to the top is the top. Everybody has an ounce of fear of being seen, because if so, we would have a lot more authentic people. We will have a lot more outward expression and truth. You know, it's very hard to cope with something when you think you're the only one dealing with it. The only reason why we feel as if you're the only one dealing with it is because we aren't expressing it to other people around us. Hey, this is something that people go through. This is something that's real. You know, this is something that people survive. You know, not everybody falls victim to, you know, that headspace. One of the second things that I see causing a lot of this is lack of resources. You know, the government has a very good way of not giving us what we need, but instead giving us what we can pay for, right? And if you're in a headspace to where your sole responsibility is to provide, it's going to be very hard for you to provide for somebody else when you can't provide for yourself, right? In the process of you trying to provide for yourself, you're going to put yourself in things that aren't for you, that may damage your mental health, that may ultimately sacrifice who you are in your life in order to provide. And in other words, this is basically a big bubble of survival mode. When your attention is put on survival, you don't have enough time to sit and actually ask yourself, am I okay? You know, when you're in survival mode and you don't have enough time to step back and ask yourself what's going on, that's how you crash out. Because you have so much unexpressed emotions and so much unexpressed thoughts that at some point the cap blew. And you never know when somebody's cap might blow. So we have to be very careful with how we handle people, how we treat people, how we talk to people, the things that we do, because you never know when somebody's at that level. Now, the third thing is directly tied into the first and second thing, and it is the divide in our women. You know, I posted a reel a couple days ago where a day said something about we became ill when we removed women from their hierarchy and spirituality. Women are equipped with certain spiritual gifts that are needed to heal a man's emotions, subconscious, etc. So when you fear a woman, when you are afraid to express to a woman and tell a woman what's going on, you're limiting yourself to your own judgment, not realizing that she has certain capabilities that you may not ever unlock. And this also ties back into the women too. You guys have to realize how powerful you guys are when it comes to nurturing and healing a man. That's not something to be played with. Just as much good power and good energy that you can instill into a man to push him forward, you can also destroy a man by not validating him when he may need validation, or by not, allowing him an area to express and, connect with you spiritually. Men can handle a lot in the physical. You know, being a hard worker and having discipline and all this other type of stuff usually isn't hard for men. What is hard for a lot of men though is that spiritual warfare, that mental space that needs to be nurtured, that part of you where you can't just put up a front and ignore it. It's that part of you to where when you're by yourself, you actually have to hear the things that's going on within you. That is a spiritual practice. Those are thoughts coming to you. We have to stop treating our women as if they're useless, or asking questions like, what do you bring to the table? Because sometimes she may not bring anything to the table besides the ability to heal your ass, right? So be cautious of how you treat the women. And then women need to also take respect and a level of responsibility when it comes to the power that they hold. If you're ignorant to how powerful you guys truly are, it will be misused, abused, and we won't move forward. But the moment a woman of any race taps into her true divine femininity, she's automatically equipped with things that the masculine frame needs, vice versa. They need each other. And that divide is causing so much trauma. You should never look at a man solely for what he provides, or you should never look at a woman solely for what she does. You have to learn to work together with our counterparts, acknowledge what are my strong points, my weaknesses, what are your strong points and your weaknesses, and how can we come together? Your person may not be my person, that person's person may not be my person's person, whatever the case may be. Everybody doesn't have to be your person, but you do have a person. The closer you align in purpose, the safer you'll feel in your body, in your spirit, in your expression. You see, we all have a purpose. Now, a lot of times we root our purpose in the validation of other people. A lot of times, like I always say, purpose is selfless. You never know what aspect of you is going to influence the next person. So you must exhibit all of you, right? In the process of you exhibiting all of you, I promise you, there's a tribe out there for you. Back then, when you didn't have an area to express, you started rapping. Now, no matter what age you are, down from kindergarten to the 90-year-old, you have a phone, you have technology, you have content, you can find your tribe, I promise. So this is just encouragement to, stay focused, keep going, and don't allow the outside pressures of society dictate how you view you and your spirit. You have to find strength from within. It can't be from anything else. I promise, it can't be from anything else. It has to be from when you're operating in purpose, you feel it. It's stepping out of your comfort zone, and don't get stepping out of your comfort zone and bad mental health mixed up. They both hurt to a certain extent, but one promotes growth. When you step out of your comfort zone, you're doing things that you don't necessarily like to do, but you need to do it. So it's liberating you at the same time because you're proving your old self wrong. Vice versa, when you're doing things that are destroying your mental health, you're doing things and you're not seeing that progress, you're not seeing happier, you're pushing yourself into places that you're not getting a return on. It's a one-sided relationship. That's another thing too. If it were mental health and one-sided relationships,